it's not uncommon that we want to show or hide different UI elements at different times, right? We may not want our users opening up a UI and seeing everything at once. For example, in our rock, paper, scissors game this week, we're talking about, the win and lose state. So saying you won and saying you lose, those different words, we don't want those to appear. Maybe we have like a graphic or something. We don't want that graphic to appear until we're ready for it to appear. So we're going to talk about how to hide and show different UI elements with our code. So I have a simple setup here. I have a button, a text view, and another text view. And this button is labeled as button, this text view is labeled as text view, and this text view is labeled as text view 2. So a pretty simple setup. Let's say I want this hey text right here to be hidden by default whenever they open up the UI. I'm going to click here, and on the right hand side in the alpha attribute under common attributes, I'm just going to put 0 and hit return. And if something has 0 alpha, that means it's invisible. Alpha is a really simple property. It basically means opacity. So 1.0 is 100% opacity. We can completely see it. 0.0 is 0% opacity. We can't see anything. 0.5 is 50% opacity. We can see half of it. So it's the translucency, right? It's how clear or how solid does that thing feel. And basically every UI element has an alpha property we can access. So I have this set to 0 at the start, so it's invisible to our users. We have the button and we have the hello world here. So let's jump to our main activity.kt file, and in this, this is the same one I've used in previous videos, but we have a function called button pressed. We have a value that is generating a random number between 5 and 10. We have a text view.text. So again, remember this middle one is called text view .text, which says I have between 5 and 10 cats, basically. So let's just make this thing, when they hit that button, make this text view visible. So let's type in text view 2 dot alpha. So the alpha property, just like how we're using that dot syntax up here, dot text to access the text property of the text view, we're doing dot alpha to access the alpha property of the text view. I'm going to say equals, and let's say 1.0f. And that f just indicates this is a float value. That just means it is a decimal number. Don't worry about it too much, but we're saying 1.0f. So it is solid. It's going to be completely solid. Let's also hide our button while we're at it. So our button is called button. I'm going to do button.alpha equals 0.0f. So it's just going to jump to being invisible. So this one's completely visible right now. It's at 1. This one's at 0. Whenever I hit the button, this is going to go to 0, and this one's going to go to 1. So let's hit play. And here's the button. I'm going to hit it. The button disappeared. The text view reappeared. And the middle one printed correctly. So you can see that we can start building dynamic single views by using those alpha properties.